hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title.
What's up, Tifos? How's everybody doing? It is Danny Brams here for another solo stream after a win. It worked last time, so we're doing it again. I hope everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, TGIF. We're working hard or hardly working, one or the other. Whatever works for you, man. It's a judgment-free zone. So thank you to all the hundreds of you who've been waiting for the stream to start. We started a minute late. But it's all good, baby, because we're celebrating a win. So that's what we do. Charlotte FC 2, DC United 1. Biel's brace brings it home, and we are absolutely thrilled to talk about it, to show the highlights, to listen to the sound bites, to bring up the graphics. You know I love my graphics, people. I love to bring my graphics to the front. Get a lot of praise for those. To tip our caps, to tip of the lightning cap to Charlotte FC for a big win. So thank you again for everyone who's here. Drop your comments in. We'll get you talking. I may bring in some video guests. You never know. We'll see. I put the word out to the Discord. I said, send me a DM. Maybe I'll drop the invite to bring some crazy random guests in here. Who knows? But really good to be here with you all. Joseph Doak, first commenter of the day, says, yo. And honestly, I couldn't have put it any better myself, Joseph. Thank you. Of course, you know, we got to be drinking the wine on a victory Thursday. So this is an Oxty Red Blend. We're going to pop the cork right now live on the stream. I got this from Trader Joe's. So I don't know if Trader Joe's is known for its vino, but $6 bottle of wine, can't beat it. They were having a tasting when I went there this weekend with my lovely daughter and said, hey, $6 for a bottle of wine. LFG, as IVM25 says. IVM, thank you for always commenting on not only the live streams, but on the posted videos. Love those comments to come in on the videos themselves so we can relive all the greatness. Joe Doak says, Trader Joe's has a great wine selection, so let's go, baby. It's a nice red blend, I got to say, pretty dry. We don't drink white wine on this show. We only drink red on the Charlotte Soccer Show, and we only wear blue, black, purple, mint, or Volt Yellow now. Still rocking my cat, by the way. And, you know, not all I'm going to say is I work. When I'm at work, I'm constantly looking on social media. It's kind of part of my day job. So I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social media, and I'm seeing a lot of posts from local folks, local journos, people who work in the quote mainstream media, the legacy media. And I'm seeing all these people wearing Heritage Lightning kits with these posts that say, thanks, Charlotte FC. Thanks, Charlotte FC. Oh, this kid is fire. Thanks, Charlotte FC. We appreciate it. Makes me think that maybe they might have gotten the freebie hookup. I don't know. I can tell you this. Charlotte Soccer Show, we remain independent. We buy all our own gear. We don't go for free gear. We're not out there looking for free gear. Although former president of the club, Joe LeBou, one time did give my daughter a free jersey, I will admit, at one of the meet and greets. So Joe Doak says, mine must be lost in the mail. Yeah, exactly. It should. They have my address. They should know where I live. But okay, so we've been talking 5 minutes and we haven't even, I've only really been talking about myself. So I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and talk about some goals because they were beautiful. Pep Biel started things off. So Charlotte got some quick early chances, some quick early pressure, and then it was like a really boring half until right before halftime. And I got to say, I'm not trying to like brag or whatever, but I just felt this goal coming. I think a lot of people in the stadium probably did. And I turned to the person next to me. I said, hey, they're about to score right here. And it wasn't but a moment later that Wilfred Zaha was running down the sideline. And I saw Dean Smith give a little like, hey, he like did a little, hey, keep it low, keep it like, let's move right there. Like right before this video picks up, Dean basically was like, hey, keep it low, keep it low. They kept it low. Wilf found Diani. And the cross went in. And even though the cross got deflected, Pep's pressure was rewarded. Pep's there to finish it all up. And we love it. We can't, that's exactly what we do. So That's how it works, right? You never stop. Like that ball could have gotten to Toklamati, it didn't, but Pep's right there to finish it off. And as Robin Williams once said in Good Will Hunting, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff. It was beautiful to see. Here's what Dean, and appearing for the first time in 2025 on the show. He was on, we did some sound bites from him last year, but this is the first time we've heard from Jabril Diani. Here's what they had to say about the goal.
Yeah, I just felt, certainly on our left-hand side, they were letting the ball get to Wilf and then doubling up on Wilf, and I just wanted to, Jack to travel with the ball a little bit further. When it allowed Wilf then to come off the play, Jack continued his run, and then he had two different passes on. He had either Jack on the outside or he put in Diani.
I see the space will give me good ball, and my first touch was good, and I put in front, and I'm happy to Pep score again. Yeah.
And good cross, and good players arrive and finish, and that's what Pep did.
Good players arrive and finish, and that's what Pep did. As Kiefer K-Dog says, foxy Pep in the box, and he was foxy. Let's watch it again because we got no time constraints here. There's the ball, as Dean said. He could have gone to Jaquil. He went to Diani instead. Diani with that, tries to cross it, and Diani was Diani's making some major contributions, and now we feel like we have some options in the midfield. Diani's available. You could put Bronico in. He subbed in later. It's not so much a set. You don't always know who's going to be starting for Charlotte FC, and I think that's a good thing. That's what everyone there has always said is better to have options, better to have competition for places, and it's a beautiful thing. And then things kept right on rolling right after halftime. Of course, we made our way, as we always do. If you ever want to come find Danny Brams, and I may buy you a beer or I may ask you to buy me a beer. You never really know. It's kind of a 50-50 proposition, but I was buying beers last night, and so we were at the Lowe's supporters bar. That's where we go at halftime. Halftime, you go to the Lowe's supporters bar. So I've been known to go in the 42nd minute as a tribute to the restaurant at the end of the universe, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy, or whatever, series, I guess. But that's where I go. Shout out Christian Stuyvesant. Welcome to the show. Always love having you on board. Hypothetically, wear the Lightning kit for the rest of the season. Why not? I don't see any problem with that. Lightning crashes. Although we will be talking about the Lightning kits. There is a quibble with the Lightning kit. I don't want to give too much away, but let me just say the new kits are fire except for one thing. There's one little problem with these new kits, even though I love them. And I'm not the only one that has the problem. We're going to hear from some players on that in a second. But first, we're going to watch Pep's second goal because it was pretty sick as well. Let's take this back because, as always, my production value. So here we go. Wilf again with the entry pass. Finds Jack, who finds Pep, who scores way too easily. I mean, that's beautiful. That's absolutely what we love to see from our legit MLS MVP candidate. So, what can I say? Like, if you don't think Pep Biel's an MVP candidate at this point, you're not paying attention, folks. Kiefer says Wilf with an insane ball to JMR. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty nice. He's being held up, and he's like Wilf's being grabbed by the collar. Hint, hint, little foreshadowing there. Wilf being grabbed by the collar. And he still finds a way to like slip a ball in to beat two defenders to hit Jack. Absolutely insane. And Pep finishes it real nice. And we were going nuts at this point, obviously. I mean, what else? What more is there to say? Pep's in the pockets. He's in the right place at the right time. Wilfred Zaha. I hope someone told Wilf about hockey assists in MLS. I hope Wilf knows that these passes are not going without being accounted for and remarked upon. The first one he won't get an assist for because of the deflected cross, but that is such a sick pass. And credit to JMR, the youngster. I mean, Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy is just a kid, right? As they say, he's just a young lad. Whoops. Jaquil's just a young kid, and yet the composure, the wherewithal to take. I've talked many times on this show about first time shots. We need more first time shots, and but here's another shout for first time crosses. First touch crosses, absolutely sick. We absolutely are all on board with just this. Look at this, like. He just slots it over to Pep first time. He doesn't have to take a touch. He doesn't have to gather himself. It's a beautiful thing. And that's the kind of class that we need. And to see it from such a young player, we got to figure out a way to like keep Shaquille Marshall-Rutty around here for a long time. I think he's someone that we can build around on this team. Let's listen again. Some more post-game sound here. Let's listen. Tim Ream spoke after the game. And so did Diani and Dino, talking about Pep and the fact that he's the man. He's legit.
I mean, the only thing I said today to him after the second goal is I love his left foot. But that's coming from another lefty. So, no, it's so fun to watch him play. Just the way he, sees and reads the game, and the touches, the combination play, just the smoothness of with which he plays is, for us it's great because we know that, okay, we just need to find him.
I mean, he'll be disappointed he didn't get his hat-trick. He had the keeper made a good save from one, which would have put it 3-0 and probably, put the game totally to bed. But he's enjoying his football at the moment. You can see it in his play as well.
He was the best player on the team for this moment. Every game he helped the team. It's crazy, and it's good to have some player like this play together. It's very good. Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep eating your spinach. A little bit like Popeye, and then keep scoring goals and creating goals. And it's really pleasing for us.
I'm Pep by the Sailor Man. I score goals whenever I can. And strong to the finish, because Dino tells me to eat my spinach. I'm Pep by the Sailor Man. Toot toot. Shout out to all the old people in the audience who got half of that reference for sure. Any youngsters, I'm glad you're here. You have probably no idea what I'm singing about, but that's an old Popeye song from the old cartoon days. And yeah, I love to absolutely see the love Pep's getting from everyone out there. It's a beautiful thing. Pep could almost play Popeye. So we'll get to talking about some other players in a minute. Oh, wow. The reviews are in on the singing. Nice remix. Pep by the Sailor Man. Can we start singing that, in the supporter section or all around the stadium, right? Toot, toot. I live in a garbage. Oh, that's the old version. Yeah, but I score goals whenever I can. I'm Pep by the Sailor Man. We absolutely, I think I've said absolutely way too many times in this. Let's get an absolutely count going because I need to quit saying that because I keep saying it. And I'm trying to be original here and just keep repeating myself, unfortunately. But I did come up with this. Now, you tell me. I'm already casting Pep Biel. Like, I'm fantasy casting Pep Biel biopic, like movies, right? Because, like, the guy's, like, becoming our personal hero. So here's my question to the chat. Who do you think – well, I'll give you a few seconds to answer. If you were casting a movie about Pep Biel and his amazing 2025 season and really his life and everything from, from Spain to Greece to Germany to Charlotte FC, who would you cast as the actor to play Pep Biel in the Pep Biel biopic? I'll give you a few minutes to answer that as I just, we'll answer that at the end of the show because I want the guesses to come in. I have my guess already, and there is a custom graphic for it, but I want to hear what y'all have to say. In the meantime, so who are we casting the Pep Biel biopic? Make sure chat knows to put some answers in there. In the meantime, we're going to talk about Zaha as he's setting up everything, and we're going to go back and we're going to look at the goals again, folks, because that's what we do from the Zaha perspective. Sick pass right there, as Dean mentioned, to get things into Diani. And then another sick pass, as Kiefer mentioned, to get the ball to Jaquil. It just doesn't get any better than some of these passes from Wilf. And this is the class that we were hoping he would bring and that he is bringing. So we absolutely – there's another one. We definitely can't wait to just see the next time he gets the ball at his feet, right? Anytime Wilf Zaha has the ball at his feet, good things tend to be happening. He had all the DC United defenders on skates, had a great attitude, obviously, I think. He was subbed off in the 70th minute. We'll hear Dean's thoughts on that in just a sec. But, he was an early sub again. There's a reason for that. But Zaha is setting up everything. He's getting the hockey assists. Hopefully he knows that his stats are climbing. He's getting up. He's moving up the MLS assist leader charts with those hockey assists, the secondary assists, the touch before the touch, you might call it. And that's pretty cool. I think. And there was a comment here. Let me see if I can bring it up. Someone said there was a little conversation while we were listening to sound bites. There's a little conversation going on here in the comments that said, hoping to make both loan signings permanent, to be honest. And then the Joe Doak said both or all three, because we got Pep loan, Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy loan, and Wilf Zaha loan. It's sometimes hard to remember that Wilf is on loan, but he is. He's already permanent on Charlotte in career mode in FC25. That's pretty funny. Kiefer, hope your career mode is going very well. But Dean did sub Wilf off early. He was asked why he subbed him off early, so he answered that. And then Ashley Westwood also had some complimentary things to say about our designated player, wing player.
Wilf coming off, was that just
Yeah, it's a 3-game week. He's not getting any younger. But he was having a rub at half time on his hamstring, so it was one of them where I felt we were comfortable in the game and we didn't need to risk anybody, and we needed to also get fresh legs on, especially having a 3-game week.
I think Wilf as well was outstanding tonight. I think he played a part in both goals. He was good. The front three were very good. We're back to the Charlotte of old, and we knew that anyway. Coming off the back of a tough month, it was about getting back to this place, getting some results under our belts, and we go with confidence now to Atlanta.
He's not getting any younger. Did I hear Dean right say Wilf Zaha's not getting any younger? That's a little brutal. You never want to hear that in any context, obviously, but Dean did say it. And I think he was kind of tongue-in-cheek. It was more about, it is a 3-game week. We want Wilf fresh. And there was some commentary last week of when Zaha was subbed early. Kiefer says, me too, Dean, not getting any younger. Yeah, none of us are. Yeah, unfortunately. But there was some commentary about, did Wilf have a meltdown when he was subbed early? And I didn't really get a definitive answer on whether or not that was true. I can say this time I watched it a little closer, and when he was subbed early, I'm sitting behind the benches. Wilf subs off on the opposite side of the field and walks all the way around behind the goal and comes down the line to hit our bench. And he was great. He got standing O from all the fans in every section. He was doing this to the fans in every section as he walked around. He seemed in really good spirits. I think he knew that it was fine to be subbed. As Dean said, he was kind of rubbing his hammy there at halftime, which, that's a coach is always going to notice that and be ready with a quick hook. I thought Dino did make good subs early. The triple sub at 70th minute after we'd allowed one back, which really sucked. I'm not even going to show the goal that DC scored because we don't care. That was just a little miscommunication error and a bit of a lucky shot scored off the post. But yeah, as IVM says, nah, 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 hey, Zaha. That chant writes itself, IVM, and I agree. We need to get that one going in the stadium as well. These chants are easy, folks. We can come up with these. I'm not expecting everyone to learn the Popeye the Sailor Man lyrics that I just busted out off the top of the dome. I don't, but nah, 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 hey, Zaha. That's an easy one. Why have we not started doing that already? I don't know, but the Joseph Doak wraps up, says, I really hope Wilf is enjoying his time here. I agree. We hope he is. He tends to, he doesn't always look the happiest, but he says he's happy. So we're gonna take him at his word, I think. The other thing was, I don't have any highlights, but I did want to say a little bit about Idan Toklamadi and his rising confidence. You could say he's a great young player. He's our replacement for Patrick Ajamong at this point, right? And until we sign another striker, they're talking about Giacomakis from Cruz Azul, who played for Atlanta. I'd say no on that one. But for now, Idan Toklamadi is the dude. He had a couple chances late to put the game truly to bed, and he couldn't quite get there. Kerwin Vargas subbed in, by the way, and Kerwin Vargas, let's just say, Kerwin Vargas was crossing so well on Wednesday night. Kerwin Vargas could have easily had 3 assists, if not more, with some of the sick passing he was doing from the wing once he subbed in. Unfortunately, no one did get the finish. Kiefer says more player-based chants, less MLS generic chants. Yeah, I agree. That's the problem. Is all the chants that are regularly heard at Bank of America Stadium are the same chants that other MLS teams do. That's a whole other episode talking about chants. I gave up on trying to influence chants long ago because no one cares what I have to say about it. I learned, but Idan Toklamati continues gaining confidence, and he's our dude. Here's Dean's thoughts on Idan.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy when players are playing well. You tend not to have as many conversations with them. I think, when you feel they need a little bit more help from you, then you have more of a conversation, and you could just see the belief about him and the positiveness when he came on. He put 2 lovely balls underneath them, one where the keeper's made a great save from Idan, and one where Idan just missed it, and then he put the ball at the end for Brandon as well. He looked a threat, whenever he got it. I mean, he's trying tricks and flicking it over the player and trying to get it the other side, so it just shows you what a bit of confidence can do for players.
Yeah, I think I teed that up as saying that it was Dean talking about Idan, but it was actually Dean talking about Vargas. Sorry, forgive me there. But they're both young players who are gaining confidence, so we're just going to go with it there. No doubt. There's always at least one glitch on this show, and that was it. There may be more. You never know. But it doesn't matter. It's the peripheral play. It's Pep. Here's the whole point of it. It's Pep. It's Wilf. It's Idan. It's Kerwin Vargas now. It's a lot of people not named Liel Abada. This is a victory episode, so we're not going to get into Liel Abada. I mean, that's if we lose, then we can do the what the hell is wrong with Abada episode. But tonight we're not doing it. Kiefer does it. Kiefer, one of our tremendous friends of the show. It would be too hard on him to do an anti-Abada episode after a win, but everything's doing real nice. And even though we did, it sucks that we gave up that goal because it was BS. That DC scored and it made things dicey at the end. I thought Charlotte did a really good job of like killing the game off, just doing all the little things, time wasting on fouls, timely, passing it around a little bit. You hate to see boring soccer, and there were nights last night that were boring for sure. Overall, it was a pretty entertaining experience, and you walk away with a winner, you're happy. But there were moments of boredom, and there's good boredom. That when you're trying to protect a 2-1 lead with 10 minutes left, and your team is known for giving up late goals, man, I'll take boring all night. And so I was happy to just sort of let the last 10 minutes go by. There was one major thing that happened in the last 10 minutes that was worth noting that we will get to in just a moment. But first, we're going to talk about Tim Ream gave some pretty extended thoughts that this is a really cool soundbite here. I'm actually going to tee this one up correctly because Tim Ream, we always talk about defending the fortress, protect the keep, defend the fortress. And everyone raves on everyone in this camp. Everyone in Charlotte talks about we have to be tough to beat. We have to be tough to break down at home. We have our supporters. We have the noise. We have the loudness. We have the Mint Street hop to intimidate opponents right before the match. All that stuff is great. But it's one thing for all of our people to say it. It's another thing to hear it from the outside, right? So Tim Ream obviously was on international duty recently, and he came back and he said, the streets are talking, y'all. The streets are talking, and the streets are saying Charlotte's a tough fucking place to play soccer.
We know we're much, a much tougher team to beat at home. We know that when we're here in front of the crowd and in front of our fans, teams don't like to come here. Evidenced by the number of conversations I had when I was away. Guys hate coming here to play. So
what were they saying? What
just everything. The fans, the noise, the way we play, the way we're hard to break down and beat, and just kind of the whole package is tough for guys. And so, listen, we always look forward to playing here. Again, with the weird scheduling in May and June, we didn't get as many opportunities, but we're here now and trying to take as advantage of it as much as we can.
I think that's so cool. I think that is so cool that Tim Ream, Charlotte FC player, goes to U.S. national camp, and there was a heavy MLS presence in the camp. We can talk. That's another side episode we could do someday, talking about how many MLS players need to be on the U.S. men's national team for a major international tournament. But it's so cool that like Ream goes there, and other MLS players are saying, "Oh man, we hate to go there. We don't like playing you guys. Tim actually heard that Malik Tillman wants to come to Charlotte soon. Says the Kiefer in the chat. Good luck. He just signed a massive contract in Germany, so I think he's not going to be coming to Charlotte anytime soon. Maybe Gio Reyna can come home, but I don't think Tillman will. But yeah, it's just cool that like to have your point of view validated. Like I said, it's one thing for us to tell ourselves that this is a tough place to play. It's another thing for other people to say, man, we hate coming to play you guys in Charlotte. So very cool there. We are protecting the keep. We are defending the fortress. Life is beautiful. So the one other thing I want to say, and some people have already started to chat to mention it in the chat, which is cool. And other people are in the chat are defending Abada. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I have nothing. I have no defense for Abada, unfortunately. But Paulie D, what's up, Paulie D? Welcome to the show. And you say, I genuinely thought Cambridge was going to score when he came on. I was ready for it. I got to say, welcome back, Brandon Cambridge. So awesome to have you back. This guy he's a club legend just for the double goals that he got against Chicago on a night when we really needed it. But that was like 2 years ago. And he's been riddled with injury problems ever since. It was just absolutely incredible to see him come on. And here's one of those beautiful crosses from Kerwin. And he could have finished. You wish Brandon would have finished that. I was ready to jump. I think the whole stadium would have gone nuclear because you credit to Charlotte fans. God, what a ball from Kerwin. I mean, I should have cut a video of the passes he made to Edon. Here's the end of the match. He had 2 crosses that Edon could have gotten on the end of for sure. But Cambridge, when he subbed in, everyone recognized it. He got a standing O when he subbed in, and people were this place was ready to jump out of its skin if Cambridge has scored this. Unfortunately, maybe a little rusty, overshoots the goal, but unfortunate there. What's up, Christian? With the quote, Brandon used a still from his missed chance as a tweet. I didn't see that, but that's great. That's pretty funny. I hope that it was this one because I'm going to see if I can get this still right here. This is absolutely amazing. God, this ball just so perfect. That ball deserved to finish for sure. I don't know if this was the still. You hate to see a shot go over the bar from that far in. Hopefully this was the still. Hopefully this was the still that he used, Christian, was him just absolutely just clobbering the DC goalkeeper, because that's funny, man. I mean, and I was worried. I saw this from behind, so I was worried that I thought maybe Cambridge had banged into the post himself. And I was like, oh, shit, he's going to get injured yet again. But thankfully he got up, and I was like, okay, he's okay. And then later when I saw the video, I was like, oh, yeah, he didn't even hit the post. He just knocked the DC goalkeeper into the post. So pretty damn funny. He's giving the goalie a hug, says Kiefer. Yeah, one of those hugs that'll get you arrested, in the wrong circumstances, right? But good for Brandon Cambridge to come in and make it happen. Dean Smith had something to say about that as well, which is pretty cool.
It's been a difficult season for Brandon. He had a hamstring injury in pre-season, and it took him a while to get back, and then he had a calf injury. So his minutes, there haven't been too many minutes. He had to go to Legacy and play games for them, but he's earned them minutes, only a few minutes at the end of the game, because of the way he's trained. He's been excellent in training, high speed running, sprints, but how hard he's worked, he's earned that right to get on the pitch.
He's earned the right to get on the pitch. No simpler way to say it than that. So this is always going to be a Cambridge-friendly podcast. Brandon Cambridge has been on the show. We interviewed him last year when he came back from an earlier injury. So scroll down on the feed, folks. Always go back and click the old videos and just like them, and make me feel better about putting in the time. Since the club's not sending me free gear, all I have is your little thumbs up emojis to make me feel better about myself. So what can you say? Good point. Yeah, good point, Christian. Christian's always got an eye on the game. This is one I love. Christian Stuyvesant. I love all the people who take the time to comment. This guy's a smart guy. Follow him on Twitter. He always has good takes. He's a Tottenham fan, which go Gunners. But other than that, absolutely fantastic dude for sure. But he notes that the shot didn't actually go over the bar. It didn't even go out of bounds. It actually kicked over towards the corner. I think we kept the possession going. I don't know. I was ready to go head to hot fly and start celebrating with posties at that point anyway. So good times, grand old times. So I think now is the time to talk about the new kits. And the new kits are fire, except for one thing I noted. And I teased I said, hey, what do y'all think about what do you think was the one thing that the players didn't like about the new kits? Well, you all guessed right, folks. What can I say? It's here's the takes.
I love it. I love it. It's just speaking to all the old boys there. It's been a special night, and thankfully they got the win. They were saying they were in the corner when we scored, so I think they helped for that win tonight.
Does a new kit bring any kind of energy to a team?
What do you mean, a new?
No, like the new kit that they were wearing tonight. Does that ever mean anything?
I'm sorry, I thought you said new kid. I thought we signed.
Jerseys, I liked them, other than the collar. But I loved it.
Color or collar?
Collar. The collar. Everybody had an issue with the collar.
Okay.
Everybody had an issue with the collar, including myself, and including the people in this chat right now. K-Dog shouts it out. Joseph Doak shouts it out. Christians shouts it out. The faux collar. Use a full collar or no collar. These things looked horrible. I got to say, the half collar. Basically, I don't have one of the new kits, so I can't show you. But there's the back of the kit is like the same Volt yellow as the thing. And the collar like starts like right here, right? So like the collar kind of like starts here and goes, and they flip up way, way too easily, and they just look bad. They just like they have no freaking clue. I have no idea why they would design it like that. I really don't. I think the fact that Tim Ream felt comfortable calling it out for being horrible just shows how, and saying everyone had a problem with it. Yeah, we all had a problem with it. The colors are fire. The colors are amazing. That half collar is trash. So I'm not going to necessarily rush out to go spend $200 on a shirt that has a half collar that sucks. So I wouldn't worry about that. But what I might do, and Paul D points this out. Paul D, he's commenting all over the show tonight. We absolutely love it. And I saw this. If you get the replica one, it has a full collar. So I think this is a case where you might be better off going. I love to get authentic jerseys. I mean, I spend way too much on them. I'm not here to talk about other people's money. I always say that. But so, spend whatever you're comfortable with. I'm happy with the money that I've spent on jerseys. Well, I'm content with the money that I've spent on jerseys for this club. I'm definitely not happy, but I'm content. I've made my peace with it anyway. But yeah, this one, I like the authentics, but in this case, when I go to get the heritage kit, I think it's going to be the replica because I need the full collar. That half collar is absolute trash. I'm just going to come out and say it. And I love and I don't really like the Ally tramp stamp on the back of the kit either, by the way, while we're here, but I could live with that. Shout out Ally Bank, but the collar's got to go, y'all. That's absolute nonsense. What can I say? A couple other things to talk about before we get out of here. First off, let's do the reveal. Thank you to all of y'all who Christian says he's got to get the real kit because it's too hot out there for them replicas. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Justin, great comment from Justin, who says he's passing on this one, but I like it. I get why you'd pass the blue shorts. Yeah, it would not look good if the same Volt yellow was like in the shorts. I love the fact that the shorts are an offset color from the yellow. It makes it really nice. Joe Doak advises that if you get a name and a number, then the Ally sponsor looks better. I'll take your word for it. I just, for my own personal reasons, I'm not big on getting names on the back of my jerseys, but don't mind if anybody else does that. And maybe I'll have to, maybe this is a case where I break all my jersey rules and I get the replica with a name on it. What name would you get? We were talking about this. Someone was talking about, I got to get Pep Biel on my heritage jersey. And I'd be more likely to go with like a funny or a joke. I'd get like Bird Camp, I'd probably get like Bird Camp on the back of my jersey and like pretend he came to play for us in his old age. That'd be pretty awesome. But we did a little quiz earlier, where I said, who would you cast to play Pep Biel in the biopic, right? And we got Pedro Mescal. I think that Pedro Mescal from Gladiator 2. I think that's Paul Mescal, right? Pedro Pascal. Paul Mescal. I don't know. I don't know anything. I usually get so many little mistakes in the show, as I always talk about, so I'm not going to hold it against anybody else, but I'm pretty sure it's Paul Mescal. Leo DiCaprio 12 years ago. I mean, I get it. I mean, these are good suggestions, but here's what I'm going to go with. And maybe I'm the only one that sees it, but I see it, and I once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. I think Pep Biel needs to be played by Bradley Cooper. I mean, what are we doing here? I like the Paul Mescal. I think Paul Mescal is a good shout for sure. But to me, it's Bradley Cooper. They don't look exactly alike, but I found these two pictures and they look pretty damn alike to me. So I'm going with it. I think Bradley. Let's put Bradley Cooper in the biopic for Pep, and let's get it started. You know, take a foot off him, and I see it. That's great. Yeah. Bradley might be a little too tall to play Pep, but hey, you know, I actually know someone. I have a friend. I hope I'm not speaking out of school here, but I think it's a safe space, right? I actually have a friend who Pep like tried to match with her on a dating app, and she was like, I can't date him. He's too short, you know. So, and she's a fan of the club, but you know, it is what it is. But good point from Christian. The Gladiator 2 came out around the time Pep came around, so that would fit. I'm all for Paul Mescal doing it, but if we could get Bradley Cooper, I don't know. I just feel like we should go with it. So where do we go from here? Let's look at the standings. And I think I've got one more topic to talk about. Two more topics to talk about. Sorry. Here's the East, and here's the road ahead for Charlotte FC. You can see the win puts Charlotte back in good playoff position, sort of. A lot of crazy midweek results in MLS this week. There was all kinds of crazy results. New York flipping the script on Orlando late, and I think Miami lost, right? And Columbus lost, and just absolute lunacy. Orlando, Miami, and Columbus all taking midweek L's is pretty nice for Charlotte FC, you got to say. I would have preferred a New York Orlando draw, but it's fine, whatever. Cincinnati got back to winning ways. I think they beat Miami, right? So all kinds of stuff happened. I'm on record as saying that if Charlotte doesn't get 9 points from DC, Atlanta, and Toronto fixtures, then they will not make the playoffs. And you can pin that. You can take that one to the bank. If we still need, like, as great as Wednesday night was, if we don't beat Atlanta, it's meaningless. So everything really matters. And 6 points incoming, we need it. Yeah, we absolutely need it. Without 6 points from Atlanta and Toronto before the League's Cup, last night won't mean much, folks. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to say it because it's fucking true. So got to beat the teams below you. And then whether it doesn't really matter if you're on the road or whatever. The optimism from IVM says we'll finish 5-7. Again, we might, but we're not going to if we don't get 6 points from the next two. So it doesn't really matter. The other thing to talk about is the departure of Patrick Ajmong. He's gone. He's not coming back anytime soon, but we miss him, and good on him. A lot. We don't need to dwell too much. We've got Toklamade. So hey, Toklamade. I mean, how easy is that for a chant, right? We should be doing that one for sure. Hey, Toklamade. You know, you kind of get the pitch up a little bit higher each time you do it. But I mean, I can just drop these nuggets of gold, people, but it's up to everybody else in the stadium to pick them up. Regardless, Ajmong is gone. A lot of people asked about him, and here's what Ashley Westwood had to say about saying goodbye to Patrick.
No, it's been, obviously, with the Gold Cup, he's been away. He come back in. I can't remember the days, have all blurred into one. Yeah, he was in, so, but it still wasn't done then. So it's football's hard. But no, I'm glad it's all done for him. Now he can go and really settle down and have a good pre-season under his belt and really kickstart his career over in England.
Did you mention anything about being in England or anything like that?
No, listen, it's different. It's hard. It's Naif spoke to him more than me. He's going to Naif's old club. I know a couple of lads who play there, so I've asked them to look after him. So he's in good hands.
Naif, he's going to Naif's old club. He's going to Nate. That's a horrible Westwood accent. I'm not even going to try. Take a second bite of that apple because that was horrible. Probably one of the worst things I've ever done in the history of the show. But it's adios, Ajmong. We wish him well. And because he's gone, that means he will not be playing in the MLS All-Star game in a couple weeks. in Austin, right? I think it's in Austin. And guess where? That's the 2025 All-Star game is in Austin. The 2026 All-Star game is coming to Charlotte. Very cool. A lot of coverage of this on our Twitter feed mostly, but pretty cool stuff. I was there when Don Garber, we all knew it was coming, but I was lucky enough to like go to the announcement event, and I got pretty close to Don Garber and Dave Tepper, and I was like, hey guys, just being close to that power and that influence. It was I don't know, it was intoxicating, I suppose. But Joseph Doak says, after that horrible accent, I could play Westy in the Pet movie. Don't know about that. I do love Westy, and I think he loves me, but who knows? Don should give Patrick's spot in the All-Star to Pep Biel. I'm almost certain that was going to happen. They were everyone on the team was asked that question. The post game was Dean, Westwood, Diani, and Ream. They didn't ask Diani, but they asked Ream, Westwood, and Dean. They said, should Pep replace Pat in the All-Star game? And they're like, yeah, of course. I didn't need to cut those sound bites because it was completely obvious. But Dino has famously been kind of an anti-All-Star game. They've asked him every time they ask him about it, he's like, what the fuck is the MLS All-Star game? I don't know. We don't do that over where I'm from. But the truth is, now with MLS All-Star 2026 coming to Charlotte, Dean, you're better. What's the Pirates of the Caribbean? You best start believing in All-Star games, Dino. You're in one. He's going to be the manager of the MLS All-Stars against Liga MX All-Stars next year when the game comes to Charlotte. He was taken aback by that news, by the way, when Steve Goldberg informed him in the press conference. But he is slowly but surely maybe warming up to the whole All-Star idea. So maybe by this time next year, he'd be all about it. Here's where he stands for now.
Listen, it's great for the city. It's great for our supporters. They all seem really, really happy with it, and great for the state. And that's really important that not just North Carolina, I always say the Carolinas, but it's a long way away to be thinking about it. But a lot of people can get excited for, a soccer week or football week that we will have. But I'm more interested in Atlanta first.
We are from the Carolinas. Sangre negra y azul. Y vino. Sangre y negra y azul. Vino rojo. All damn day. Quote from Justin Reynolds says, drop the act, Dino. Accept you are not in England. Embrace how MLS does things. Yeah, he's tried, but he's admitted. He's like, I told my Dean's last week, right? On the show last week, he said, I told myself when I came here that I would try to embrace America, but that All-Star game is just not something I can do. This is even maybe a more incisive comment from Joe Doak. Does Dean think he'll be here next year? Is he not planning to manage the All-Star game because he's just going to leave and go somewhere else? I hope not, but he does have a contract extension, right? Someone said when I think it was Steve, my guy Steve Goldberg, the best in the business, and he said he was like pressing Dean. He's like, Dean, are you going to manage the All-Star game? Are you ready to manage an All-Star game? Are you okay to manage an All-Star game? And Dean's was like, it's a long way away. So that's all he would say. Props to him for being more focused on Atlanta. You can't be mad about that. We're going to turn it into another home match. There's going to be thousands of Charlotte FC supporters headed down, stuck up in the top corner of Mercedes-Benz and scattered around in little pockets all around the stadium. Taking over the Benz like we always do. Atlanta is absolute trash this year, although they are on a bit of an uptick recently. Not a full upswing, but an uptick. There's a different uptick, upswing. Uptick, upswing. You'd rather be on an upswing than an uptick, but you'd rather just not be down to begin with. So we'll see how that goes. It's time to go beat Atlanta. Is it a trap game? It better not be, dude. I mean, they're all trap games at this point. If we lose to Atlanta, we're not making the playoffs. Book it. If we draw Atlanta, we're not making the playoffs. If we do not win this match in Atlanta on Saturday, we will not make the playoffs. Book it, write it. I know people love to cut little clips from these videos every once in a while and try to catch me in things. So there's one for you at 9:30 p.m. on July 17th. Make sure that you save it and clip it and rub it in my face someday. I don't really care. It's been a great show. I really appreciate 17,000 concurrent viewers at once. That's absolutely insane. I never thought we could do those numbers, and that's just a credit to all y'all tifos. Y'all make it happen. Metrics are off the charts. Charlotte FC is doing well. We're drinking wine straight from the bottle. We're celebrating goals. We're got road matches ahead. And yeah, I mean, Kiefer says clipped and shipped. Oh, Ladon. Sorry, you're right. It was 170,000 Ladon. Thank you. Not 17,000. It was 170,000. That's right. Well, hey, you know, that's just how there's a lot of Charlotte FC fans out there, and I get it. We're probably being the Kazakhstan audience is huge. Trust me. Kazakhstan Crowns is one of the bigger clubs in that fan clubs in that country. I think they're planning a trip over here for the Real Salt Lake match next month. So make sure you may need to what am I talking about? I don't even know. We'll end the show on an ad. Christian says, drink Black Cat coffee. Dean and Ashley drink it. We love Black Cat coffee. They are Black Cat Coffee is friends of the show. If you are not familiar, find it on Instagram. Great people running that company and bringing the coffee to you. And one of the up and coming coffee places in this town. I would check it out for sure. Like I said, thanks everybody for joining us. We went almost an hour here, so we're going to cut it off there. I'm trying to think if there's any. Did I miss anything? I don't know. I don't think I missed anything. We're going to end on. Let's just end on this picture and just burn this one into your brain, people. Pep and Bradley. And what if Bradley Cooper played Pep Biel playing Popeye in a movie? I'm Pep by the Sailor Man. I score goals whenever I can. I'm strong to the finish because I drink wine straight out the bottle. I'm Pep by the Sailor Man. Toot toot for the crown, baby.